Cold open. Picture this, a small glass jar on your kitchen counter, cloudy and pale like summer rain, and the scent of brewed green tea curling up like a promise. In less than an hour, you can make a pantry-based rinse that many cultures have used for generations to support shine and gentle strength in hair. Stay with us. We'll walk you through both a quick cold rinse and a lightly fermented version you can make at home, safely and simply.
Opening. Welcome to Earthy Remedy, your space for natural remedies, real food, and everyday wellness. I'm your host, Samnang Bradme, host and wellness guide. And I'm Fiona Thompson, co-host and nutritionist. Together, we explore how the healing power of nature and evidence-based nutrition can help you feel better in simple, sustainable ways. On today's episode, we're talking about rice water and green tea hair rinses, a gentle, pantry-based ritual that can support surface shine, help release tangling, and bring a mindful moment into your routine. We'll cover the history, what the research suggests, and walk you slowly through two recipes, a quick cold rinse and a fermented rice water with green tea infusion. By the end, you'll have a printable recipe to follow in your show notes. Let's start with why people look for a rinse like this. Maybe your hair feels dull, breaks when you brush, or seems like it never quite catches the light. Maybe you're sensitive to heavy silicones or want to reduce plastic waste from store-bought products. I remember a listener telling me she was tired of brittle ends and wanted something simple from her pantry. Nothing fussy, nothing with a long label she couldn't pronounce. That feeling of wanting gentle, meaningful care is what brings us here. Let's break down what's happening. Hair dullness and breakage often come from surface damage, cuticle layers lifted by styling, rough brushing, or environmental stress. There's also the balance between protein and moisture. Too much protein can make hair feel stiff. Too little can leave it weak. Nutritionally speaking, what we apply topically won't replace dietary needs, but certain plant compounds can interact with the hair shaft surface and scalp environment to improve manageability and perceived shine. This is important because many people prefer lower chemical options that still feel effective.
Segment 2. Tradition and evidence. The practice of rinsing hair with rice water appears across East and Southeast Asia. Stories of women passing jars between sisters and of long, glossy hair considered part of everyday care. Fiona, what does the science tell us about why rice water might help?
Here's what the science tells us. Rice water contains amino acids, small amounts of vitamins and minerals, and a compound called inositol that lab studies suggest can help strengthen the hair shaft and reduce friction. Green tea contributes polyphenols, antioxidants, and a gentle amount of caffeine that some lab models show can support scalp circulation. The evidence is modest and often preliminary, but it aligns with the traditional observations. A gentle topical rinse can temporarily smooth the cuticle, reduce tangling, and add visible shine. Importantly, the data also warns about overuse. Too frequent protein-heavy treatments can cause stiffness, so frequency and listening to your hair matter. And from a cultural lens, this practice is accessible and sustainable. You're reusing kitchen staples, honoring a ritual, and slowing down for care. That combination of practicality, beauty, and mindfulness is what makes this meaningful for many listeners.
Segment 3. Introducing the remedies. We'll make two versions today. Option A is the quick cold rice rinse. Fast, simple, great for all hair types as a weekly shine boost. Option B is a fermented rice water with green tea infusion, a lightly fermented, more complex rinse that some people find gentler on the cuticle and richer in inositol. Who it's good for. And cautions. If you have a sensitive scalp, open sores, or are prone to eczema, patch test first. If you use protein-heavy treatments often, use the fermented rinse no more than once weekly and watch how your hair responds.
Recipe section. I'll read the ingredient list slowly. We'll do the quick rinse first, then the fermented version. Listen or jot these down. Full measurements are in the show notes.
Ingredient list. Quick, cold rice rinse.
1/2 cup uncooked white or jasmine rice, which provides mild starches and amino acids. 2 cups cool filtered water. 1 green tea bag or 1 teaspoon loose green tea for antioxidants. Optional, 1 teaspoon apple cider vinegar to balance pH for oily scalps. Ingredient list: fermented rice water with green tea, 1/2 cup uncooked rice, 2 cups filtered water, 1 green tea bag, a clean glass jar with lid. Optional, a few drops of rosemary essential oil for scent if you like it. For safety, we won't add anything perishable that speeds spoilage. Equipment: a fine strainer or cheesecloth, a clean jar, a bowl for mixing, and a measuring cup. You'll also want a towel and a mug for sensory moments. Now the steps. I'll number them and pause between each so you can follow along. Step 1. Rinse your rice briefly under cool water to remove dust. That's 1/2 cup of rice, rinsed until the water runs clearer. Step 2. Place rinsed rice in a bowl and add 2 cups of cool filtered water. Swirl gently for about 30 seconds. You'll see the water turn slightly cloudy. That's the starch and small compounds releasing. Step 3A. For the quick cold rinse. After swirling, strain the rice into your clean jar. Add the green tea bag and steep in the cool rice water for 10-15 minutes. Remove the tea bag, then transfer the cloudy rinse to a bottle. Use after shampooing. Pour over wet hair, massage into scalp and along lengths. Leave for 1-2 minutes, then rinse lightly with cool water. This gives immediate slip and shine. Step 3B. For fermented rice water. After you strain the rice into a jar, let the cloudy water sit at room temperature in a loosely covered jar for 24 to 48 hours. You're aiming for a slightly tangy, yogurt-like scent, not rotten. Once it smells mildly sour and slightly fizzy, remove the green tea bag if you added it earlier, place the jar in the fridge to slow fermentation, and use within 5 to 7 days. To use, pour over wet hair after shampoo. Leave for 1 to 5 minutes depending on your hair's response, then rinse. Common mistakes to avoid. Do not seal the jar tightly during fermentation. You want gas to escape. If you see mold, a dark slimy film, or a rotten smell, discard and start over. Don't overuse. For most hair types, once weekly for fermented rinse, and the quick rinse up to once or twice a week works well. If your hair feels stiff or straw-like after use, reduce frequency. That's a sign of protein overload. Storage and serving tips. Keep fermented rice water refrigerated and use within 5 to 7 days. The quick cold rinse can be kept covered in the fridge for up to 48 hours. Warm it slightly in your hands before applying. It should feel comfortably warm, not hot. Variations. Swap green tea for chamomile for a sweeter scent, or use brown rice for a slightly deeper aroma. For fine hair, dilute the rinse more. For thick, coarser hair, use it as written. Sensory moment. If you're listening while you prepare, hold the jar, notice the pale cloudiness, breathe the soft vegetal scent of green tea and the mild tang of fermentation. Take a few drops on your fingertip. It should feel light and slippery, not sticky. Take that moment. This ritual is as much about care as it is about outcome. Safety and cautions. Do a patch test on your inner forearm and a tiny scalp patch before full use. If you have scalp conditions like psoriasis, open wounds, or a history of allergic reactions,
check with a dermatologist before trying fermented topical treatments. If you're on medication that affects skin sensitivity, consult your clinician. And again, if you notice irritation, itching, or unusual scaling, stop and seek professional advice. The research supports topical benefits, but does not replace medical care.
Reflection and encouragement. This is an invitation to slow down and use what you already have. It's not a miracle cure. It's a gentle ritual that honors tradition, offers low-waste care, and asks you to listen to how your hair responds. You've got this. Try one version, note how your hair feels the next day, and tweak as needed.
Recap. Rice water can add surface slip and shine thanks to starches and amino acids. Green tea contributes antioxidants. Fermentation can increase certain compounds, but must be done with hygiene and moderation in mind. Frequency matters. Think weekly for fermented rinses, and pay attention to protein balance. The evidence evolves, but used thoughtfully, this is a low-risk, sustainable ritual for many people.
We'd love to hear how this turned out for you. Did you try the quick rinse or the fermented version? Send us a voice message or DM us on Instagram at @EarthyRemedyPodcast. Tell us what you noticed, what you changed, or share a photo of your jar. And if you found this episode helpful, please subscribe to Earthy Remedy so you don't miss future recipes and rituals. Printable recipe and sourcing tips are in the show notes. Closing. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Earthy Remedy. We hope you're leaving with at least one simple, natural idea you can try this week. Until next time, listen to your body. Trust the earth. Feel the difference. Music swells gently, then fades out.